How can we as parents help our kids overcome peer pressure, time limits, or being left behind in the public school system? There's a revolution of how we are teaching our children happening here in the United States. In the 1960s and 70s, a movement started involving home education for the radical parents who wanted to break away from the traditional education. At the same time period, Christian-based parents also wanted a biblical system of education, where the public school system was veering away from the faith aspect in schools. In the spring of 2011, there is an estimated 1.77 million students enrolled in the online home-based school system. Resident researchers at Harvard have also found that by 2019, over half of all high school students will be taking their courses online. Online home-based schools have an environment with an emotional support for students and technology support for parents. School taught in home will become the new educational norm for this country. Children should have availability to learn at their own pace. The law, No Child Left Behind, that was passed in 2001, states that all children have fair and equal opportunity to obtain a higher education. This law has great intentions of developing a sound education system where all children succeed. The hiccup to this plan is not all children learn at the same pace or the same way. They need time to discover their accessibilities that help them learn. Unfortunately, our government does not have the funds to allow all children to explore education on different levels, so children are grouped in classrooms and they are taught in one manner. Some make it, some don't. With school based out of the home, the student-adult ratio is much less, giving the success rate of obtaining information greater. Home students cut out the aspect of being bullying also. Some educators imply that a student who endures bullying in public schools learn how to deal with difficult situations. It shapes the student and it helps them to become better at handling future incidents. Without appropriate intervention, bullying behaviors tends to increase and contributes to the negative school environment. Bullying is a national threat to the children of school systems, producing insecurities, depressions, and social incompetence. Students that do not endure bullying can grow and experience life without the setback of peer harassment. Students that do not endure bullying, parents can take the time to teach their students, their children, on how to deal with pressures and to review practices of how to deal with bullying, so that if a student is approached by a bully, they can handle it intellectually and confidentially. Socially, students at home are not compromised. High school peer pressure can be tough to get through. Most teenagers want to be a part of the popular class of high school, causing some to do actions just for the status quo. Students that are homeschooled are not pressured in such a way. Most homeschooled children are taught not only curriculum-based subjects, but are brought up in a moral correct atmosphere without any pressures of being anything but themselves. Some students must learn social acceptance, learning the confidence needed to be a well-respected adult. Unlike the public school environment of being pressured to be someone you're not, students that study at home tend to become more themselves than any other adolescent, finding no hindrance of peer pressure or bullying. Without the support of parents, home education can fail. A well-maintained schedule and motivation will help online students beat the negative effects. Students must want to achieve the education and are willing to learn from their parents and the curriculum provided. Students must have this motivation. The evolution of education is coming. Parents want to have more interaction with their children and their education. And the success of home students with over 6 million registered today is proof that the revolution is in the making.